God did not send you like this from heaven. There were installations in your spirit. Everything, things that are bigger than you, bigger than generations. The problem is that your outer man has not broken.
God's esteemed servant, Pastor Chukwudi, is the point man of RCN Oka and Anambra State.
And for the outer man to break, you need to subject that man to intense pressure. Pressure that comes from intercession. You are not expected to move from that place. What prayer starts still there?
He's a chronic intercessor, ardent addict to the word of God, and has a strong apostolic and prophetic ministry.
If a man sits in one spot, see 2025, till Jesus comes, any day you open the book of Daniel, it is still a revelation. The eagle eyes. What is the content of their prayers? It is truly a cry for the glory. That is what I want.
Join us in the life transforming section as we meander and wander into the endless light of God's words.
He's standing by my side to bring his words to pass. He reigns. Don't worry, just sit. God bless you. I want to share a bit on ourselves, and then I will introduce power today and we'll continue next Sunday. I want you to know this. Whenever you come here, the expectations are not many. What to expect is not many, right? There's a specification to the grace that God has given us. God didn't call us to do everything. The Bible says to some he gave. To some he gave. The people he gave to apostles are not the people he gave prophets. To some he gave. Essentially, the goal is the same, but the wings are not the same. We are playing on the same team, but somebody will have to be the goalkeeper. If the goalkeeper says, well, you people, the way you are playing, in fact, come out, let me go and score. What will happen? That team will collect goals. Our jobs differ. So that when you come here, you are not thinking, who is Reverend Pascal? What does he do? And that's why I'm telling you this. When you get here, right, part of what we emphasize on is our culture. We have a corporate culture. And it's not difficult. It's just 4 of them. I'm going to list them. That's what I want to share and I'll move on. First is that we have a culture of love. Love. I don't know what I will say so that you don't misunderstand me. But we have a culture of love, right? Love that, in fact, my definition of spiritual maturity is your extent of love. I know you are matured spiritually, not when you speak in tongues. For us here, not when you prophesy, not when you raise the dead. No. The Bible says in 1 Corinthians, it says prophecies can come and go. Many things will not remain, but love will always be there. A matured believer is the believer that is able to live out the life of God in its fruits and in its power. But first of all, in its fruits and among the fruits of the Spirit. The fruits of the Spirit are not many in the Bible. The fruit of the Spirit is one. Every other thing is an extension of that fruit. And the fruit of the Spirit is love, not more than one. As soon as you carry that nature of love, I respect you more. If for 3 years you have been with us, for 2 years you have been with us, but the wickedness you exude is pro max, you are not hearing what we are saying. It doesn't matter your position in church, even if you come here to lead prayers. I hope you're hearing what I'm saying, everybody. Yeah, so that you're not wondering, how do we judge? This is how I judge. This is how I look at things. So that people don't touch you, people don't contact you and go back with a wicked report that I wish I never met this brother. I wish I never met this sister. Love. And that love must be given to people as experience. It must be given to people as what? Experience. I'm not talking about care. I'm talking about experience. It means people should walk in and see it, sit down and see it, move around this hall and see it, and not be thinking, do they love or not? They should know by just walking in. If you walk into UBA, you are not thinking, is this UBA or not? You can tell the culture of a people just by being there. Let me be honest with you. Systems where they practice genuine necromancy, real necromancy, where necromancy is an institution and part of their culture, they litter dead bodies everywhere and build, those things they build for them, so that you can consult them once in a while. If you get into those kind of places, you are not asking, do they practice necromancy here? You know. Because somebody has an issue, they say, go to your father's grave. Go there and cry to him. Really? Is it your father that is responding? I don't know. When you come for deliverance, finally, who can tell you? Are you understanding what I'm saying? Somebody say love. Love. If we are going to correct one another, it has to be done in love. If we are going to preach, this is why there is a way I don't preach. There is a way you don't lead prayers here. Yes. You can lead prayers like that anywhere. You don't come and tell us how stupid we are, how our destiny have ended. That is not a communication of love. I don't care if it's working for you, it can work in your village. It won't work everywhere. Hope you're understanding what I'm saying. In case you are saying, Pastor Pascal is this, if you don't like us like this, find where they can accommodate you. Somebody say love. We might not have seen what you have seen, had what you have had, entered where you have entered, but we are not stupid because we have not. We are not fools. And so if we will talk to you, we talk to you with respect. Yes, if you value people, you respect them. And if you respect nobody, it doesn't matter anymore. I fear your respect for God. So that you don't come and lead prayer, sister prayer warrior, brother prayer warrior, and say, are you stupid? You are so stupid. No, we don't do that here. We don't. Sister Osha, that brother is coming from the door. What did we introduce to the person? When they met you or shook your hands, what left you? What did you give them? What will they say about you when they meet you? Will you exude love, brother Osha, brother protocol? Sister Choir, what about you? Love, permanent culture. I believe God has started working on you when I start seeing the fruit of the Spirit. Not when you start praying in tongues. When I start seeing the fruit of the Spirit. It might not be emphasized, but it is paramount for us in Remnant Christian Network. We are a family. There is a way you don't talk to your brother. There is a way you don't talk to your siblings. There is a way you don't talk to your friends. That you can crack jokes, but you know when you are serious. Please have it at the back of your mind that this is who we are. This is what we do. As I'm talking, you might need to look at somebody sitting close to you and tell the person, I like you. If you're scared of saying love, say I like you. You're okay. Some people are wondering, is it true? Some time ago, I was in the church. They said, turn to your neighbor, say, I love you. And I turned, I said, I love you. They say one more thing. There is nothing you can do about it. I said, there is nothing you can do about it. So it was difficult for me to say it to the sister. And after the service, we were going out. I said, sister, do you mean that thing? Because me, I meant it. You know the truth? Mean it. Mean it. Yes. You know, we have a society where the definition of love is thwarted. That's what is causing this problem. That's why you can say it now. Not like there's anything wrong with it. And then, sometimes we, the pastors, try to talk you away from it in the bid to preach holiness. But God is love. Okay, preach to somebody, say, God is love. Now say, I love you. Say it. It makes better sense. So guys, very important. Never forget what I'm saying. This is what we stand for. This is what I believe. This is how I judge. I judge your conformity by love. by love. Not professed love, but acted love. Yes. And somebody might say, but they did not show me love. You are a parasite already. You should be saying, did I show love? Because people don't hear well. Now that I'm talking about love, you want to play victim. You say, but they did not show me love the other day. How many people have you shown love since you got here? Parasitic mindset. God doesn't like those kind of people. Hope I help that brother right now. Can I continue on this? The second thing I want to talk about, apart from the culture of love, we have a culture of excellence. A culture of excellence. My definition of excellence is not ambiguous. It's paying attention to details. Paying attention to small things. Have you seen people that do things shabbishly? And then you tell them, how will you do this kind of thing? And he will tell you, you do not even appreciate me for the one I have done. Have you had those kind of things before? Imagine you come to my house and you give me money, or maybe we have a meeting and we give you money to cook beans for us, and you cook the beans like granite. Serve it in the plate and bring for us. And we tell you, how can you bring this kind of beans for us? You say, you people did not even appreciate me. I even cook it small. Do you understand what I'm saying? You expect to be appreciated for doing it shabbishly. Those kind of people that don't take correction, they are looking for applaud, even when they are stupid. They don't go far. Are you hearing what I'm saying? Don't say, but I did it at all. Nobody asks if you did it at all. If you want to do it well. Do it well. Not at all. Don't say, but I tried now. Really? Nobody rewards you for trying. You are rewarded for winning. You are crowned when you win, when you excel, not when you try, not for participating. Do it well. If I want to pray, I will pray well. If I want to walk, I will walk well. You give me something to do, I will do it well. If I can't do it, it's better I say I can't do it. Excellence is a culture, is a mindset. If your mind has not accepted it, it will reflect in everything you do, and you will not know. You will think it's in one area, but it's affecting every other thing. We pay attention to details. Somebody say details. Not the big things, details. Professional fashion designers are professional because of details. Not knowing how to cut the cloth. Sometimes it's just a little thing in the measurement that you ignored. You say, let's just do it like that. Let's just do it like that. I already know. No. Nobody already knows. There is a rule that you measure twice and cut once. Because if you miss it, you have missed it. If you cut it and it is not the right thing, there is a problem. Don't say we'll just manage it like that. Nobody intends to manage it like that. Are you hearing what I'm saying? Yes. If there is anything your hand finds to do, that's what the Bible says. It says you should do it as unto the Lord. What that means is do it as though God will be using it. So if we give you a chair to clean the chair as though it's God that will sit on it. If we say sweep this hall, sweep it as though it's God that is coming here. What assignment have you been given that you say it's just nonsense? Let's just do it like that and go. No. With what I'm teaching you now, if we institutionalize this culture among us, look at us after 1 year, you will be shocked what you will see. A lot of things around your life will automatically change. No preacher will have to add to it. If you do not carry an excellent mindset, you don't need so much demons. You have enough. If the devil adds to it, it's too much problem. Somebody say excellence. Excellence. Paying attention to details. Details. Don't say I'm wearing shoe. Is the shoe clean? Don't say I've swept it. How well was it swept? Excellence. It's enshrined in this place. Just in case you find yourself in a department and we say score a song for choir. I just say I've listened to the song. We didn't say listen to the song. We say score the song. Scoring a song means if there is a little break in the song, make sure there is break. Listen the song until you can sing it like the person that originally sang it. The way it is recorded. That's what scoring is. And if you don't copy well, you cannot be innovative. Are you hearing what I'm saying? Yes. Why we have teaching hospitals is that people that are them first do it how they are doing it before you start becoming innovative. If you can't copy well, you cannot be creative. Don't just say I will be original. You are not original. You must sing other people's song, do other people's things before you eventually become original. Your own doesn't come from anywhere. No. That brother sang it with key G. Anybody can sing it. Sit down and stretch that voice. It can get there. Don't say if I go past here, my voice will break. How many people's voice do you know broke? And this is not just about the choir. Are you hearing what I'm saying? This is about everybody and every area. Whatever you are asked to do, please do it well. Do it well. Do it well. Don't leave a signature of mediocrity in anything you do. If we sweep and we ask, we have two people sweeping, okay, and you see the place swept clean, you know it is this brother. If you see nonsense in the place, you know, you just know. Do you know people like that? They just come in and say, the person that did, no, don't despise it. You are not wise. You are not. I'm saying this because I'm teaching on culture. As you look around in this place, we are not big yet. We are not up to 500. Our population is just about 200 in total. Right? We are not there yet. There are many things we can do at this level. We should be able to maintain the few things we have, the few equipments we have. Let me say this. It was on Friday, I was with the person that sold this mic to us. And Winners Chapel here, the one in Thameside, wanted to buy it also. I can't remember exactly how that's happened. And they told him the mic he wants. He mentioned the price. He told them it's 475,000. This is a pair of mic, this particular mic, two. Said 475,000. When he was done, and I said, which mic is 475,000? He said, it's that mic you are using. That's what they want to buy. I said, that's what they want to buy? How is it 475,000? I said, but when I bought it about 180 or 200. I can't remember. He said, but things have been putting money, don't you know? Imagine somebody now comes here, we are praying. Person now says, let prayer carry fire. And then throw it. Maybe in some circles it's not a problem. They have the money to buy another one. There are many things in your house you are treating like that. It's because you don't know the price. You don't know the price now. I can come and say, let nobody touch that mic again. You might not know why. I think I was asking somebody yesterday. I said, saying don't use this mic and asking you to buy a new one, which one is more loving? But you can tell somebody don't use it. The person will say every time they are saying that touch it. One day I will gather faith and say buy one. You will know if I loved you before or not. When you come in a family context, right? Not everybody has the privilege of a good pastor. When you come in a family context and you are taught, pay attention. Learn. Some of the things we are sharing are things you are going to use to run your businesses tomorrow. Because you need to come to workers' meeting and say these things. People might not understand it, but it's true. It's true. When I was running a school, a teacher came to me in the workers' meeting after I admonished the workers, says because of me that this school is doing well. Let me not call the name. And I called her name. I said, the thing you just said made me want to sack you. But there will be no reason. The reason it will not be founded. There will be no foundation for your sack. Meanwhile, let me tell you that none of us is indispensable. Are you hearing what I'm saying?
Yes, sir.
Look at somebody saying, none of us. None of us. If you say you are not interested, including me, have I not left that place today? I've left it. I left it and it was still running. None of us. I always tell people, if you find opportunity to be of assistance to anybody, do it, because people will still find help one way or the other. It's only a privilege to be part of their success stories. They will still find assistance. They will. All your uncles who claim didn't send you money when you were going to school. Did you not graduate? Are you not doing something now? Did you die? No. You still found your way through. The hunger might be momentary, but you will not forget that they didn't help you. You will not forget. And some people now, you know why they could not help you. Now you are an uncle. Are you not an uncle already? You are becoming an uncle. You know what happened then. Now you're there. They don't need to explain to you, because other people are already calling you. Uncle Adeo, anything. You know their predicament then. It was beyond you. I hope you're learning something. Strengthen the things that remain. Strengthen the things that remain. Don't come in carelessly. The workers, please pay attention. You see something wrongly placed. You say, I'm not the one that did it. But you saw it. You are not wise. Nobody's asking if you're the one that did it. Okay, if you knew you didn't have the luxury of fixing it back, why not ask who did this? Or make sure somebody is immediately assigned to fix it. If it was your shop that they took the key, is that how you will leave it and go home? Is it because you've not run business before? Are you aware you will still run business tomorrow? And you might think, it's not my own, therefore, what, you know, the Bible says, if you're not faithful in another man's business, who will give you your own? It means what qualifies you to ownership is faithfulness in another man's own. Part of what God looks at to establish you is that he's checking what you did where you were. When you were the director of socials, what did you do? When you were this, what did you do? When you work with this company, what did you do? What was the mode like? What was the activity like? Maybe this thing does not sound supernatural, but please, let me beg you. This is what God wants you to hear today. Many of you. I hope you're listening to what I'm saying. Because you're going to set up systems tomorrow. If this message does not affect you directly, you will need it to counsel your staff. You might think what we're saying is easy. The structures we are putting in place is easy. Until we give you 10 people that have different mindsets. One came from Kaduna, another one came from Meduguri, another one came from Onitsha, another one came from Iyanokpaja in Lagos. The other one came from, what are the places in Lagos that are funny? Ejabule. Then one choose one came from Port, another one came from Abuja, and they give you 10 of them. They say, this is your company. You people should work. And they put you as the lead of that team. Let's see how well your wisdom works. Because some of you are saying it's not my business. It's not your business because you don't know that you can't do this life alone. If you are going to achieve anything significant in life and destiny, you must work with a team. A real team. Tell me anything you want to do. Anything that will last, that will have impact, that will leave a print. In fact, part of what you should be privileged to be learning sitting here is leadership. Leadership. That I'm going to be this tomorrow. How am I going to organize myself? How am I going to talk to the team? How am I going to lead my people? Because you're going to meet people that appears to be good, but they are snakes. Do you know how to identify them? Part of what leadership is to harness people's strength. What if you find somebody that has an independent mind? They have a mind of their own, but you are expected to work with them. So if you say, let's go right, they tell you, well, if you people want to go right, you can be going right. And he won't tell you he will not go. He will just turn and start going his own, what he calls right. He has a definition of right. And you are giving those kind of people to work with. You might easily write them off and say, this one, bad. It's not true. The fact that he's like that doesn't mean he's a disadvantage. In fact, if you are like that in my team, I look at you critically and know how to redefine right for you. If I successfully redefine right for you, that's what transformation is. You begin to say, okay, is that what right is? You see those people use the same energy to do this. That was what God did with Apostle Paul. He didn't kill him. He had a zeal to defend the cause of the scribes, the Sadducees, the Pharisees, and all that, the law. I was persecuting the people of God. What God needed to do was not to kill Paul, is to call Paul and tell him, well, you are doing a great job already, but this is not where this job should be done. Use this energy to push this one. Did you see what he did when he became a preacher? Because some people in the leadership team, they might not even know why I make the decisions I make. Then I look at people and I laugh and I say, no, let's still work with him. Bring him again. And they say, this guy that did this. I said, don't worry. Let's give him another chance. Sometimes he fails a second time. I say, let's give him the third chance. He fails the third time. I say, let's give him the fourth chance. And I will tell them, if you are working with us, I will not be part of a team that will slander you. Can I say it so that you hear it? If 4 of you, if Ima, Dindu, and Tango comes up and reports, brother, what's your name? Emmanuel. Okay, we already have Ima here. They come up and report Sunday. If the 4 of you, these 2 Ima, Tango, and Dindu, report Sunday to me and say Sunday is misbehaving, let's kill him. Right? And they give me a list of the misbehaviors of Sunday, and Sunday deserves to die. The last thing I will do as a father in this house is to join them to kill Sunday. My job that day is to defend Sunday. Is to tell him he did everything wrong, but call him for me. Let him come. These people can come with catapult, maybe with hammer and chisel, that they are going to, but I will call Sunday and you will be shocked. They will be saying, with everything he did, you see, allowed him. They will not understand. What you don't know is that your own day too, I will do the same for you. I didn't do it because it's Sunday. I did it because they are my children. If one goes, I'm losing my children. You are losing your brother. Me, I'm losing mine. When you get your own children, treat them how you like. And so that you know if you are misbehaving and they are sending me reports, it's painful. It's paining me. It's doing what? I'm not happy. I'm not happy. I'm not happy I will have to defend you when it's unnecessary. Let's wrap up this thing. Can we? The last culture I want to talk about is our worship culture. Our worship culture. This is the epicenter of everything we do in this place. Right? Worship is a product of revelation. A product of revelation. Just like giving is a product of revelation. It takes a lot of revelation, the knowledge of God in a certain way to be able to worship right. Just like it takes the knowledge of God in a certain way to be able to give. I don't know the man of God you respect so much, right? Or who you love so much, or anybody you have certain level of honor for. If he walks into this room and looks at you, let's say my father in the Lord, Apostle Arome Osai, and he looks at us, he says, I want to drink water. I'm sure that even me preaching will keep this mic. You'll be wondering, where is he going to? I'll get it back. What do they call that? This thing, I'll get it in pack and bring. I say, one pack is hot, one pack. If I might get 3 packs, and the 3rd pack is just warm. If you want it warm, so that you will have enough water to drink. You know why I'm doing that? I know who he is. There are things you do on the basis of revelation. People you think they are nobody, you don't care. People you think they matter to you, there's a way you treat them. This is the simple truth. And finally, people you think you can get favor from, there's a way you treat them. You also know that maybe Apostle Arome, peradventure, might just say, God bless you. Might say it. Honestly, from your heart, you want to get something from it. You are making that seed and sacrifice, knowing the capacity of the person. You know, if he wants to drink water, water will not be his problem. Are you aware? How many of you now think that if you give God 100,000 in church, you give him too much? Think about it. What if you give him 1 million? What if you give him 10? What if you give him 1 billion? You see, a lot of things are beginning to change in your mind. One day, a politician was to come to our house. This was in the village. And it was a House of Rep member as at then. Him and some people were going to have meeting in our house. And I remember my father and those people were having meeting. And they were asking for the drink they will buy. In my heart, I said, drink? Do you people have to sit in a meeting to discuss drink? Why not just buy any drink? Give him malt. Let him drink. Okay, if you will not drink malt. And I was overhearing the conversation. The drink they eventually agreed to buy was a drink they were going to buy for 375,000, and they want to buy 2 bottles. Everything they were doing was to impress him. But adventure, he's impressed, and he will fix our road. I hope you're understanding what I'm saying. Are you learning from what I'm saying? But adventure, he likes it. But adventure, he loves it. But adventure, he says, when I don't touch my heart. Contractor, start work tomorrow. Hope you know it was not drink they gave him. Do you understand what I'm saying? If God now stands here and says, I'm here, what will you do? The same way worship is. The way you respond in worship shows if you know at all who you are dealing with. If you have an idea at all. If you have been in pain and hunger and penury, and your life is wasting, and you come before a man you know for sure has capacity to change your life in a swipe. If he stretches forth his hands over you, your life is done. He doesn't have to help you himself. He can just look at somebody and say, help this guy, and that's all. The person will help you and ask for, I hope you are fine. But adventure, you are going to come back to report to him that he didn't help me. He wants to do his best to make sure you are set up. Your suffering is not generic. It's not for everybody. Are you understanding what I'm saying? There are people now that can look at you and change your life. And if there is anybody that should do that without blinking, it's God. If you come before him and we say, let us worship, and you act like you have arrived, it means you don't have a revelation of who you are standing before. You don't know. You don't know who we are standing before. You are far from reality. What if you say, I've given him something? My brother, there is nothing you can bring that makes any sense. Any sense. You know the person we are talking about his majesty. If you have a glimpse of his throne, you will want to be in heaven. The king saw it and said, I would rather be a gatekeeper in the house of God. A king in the stature and authority of David, not a president of Nigeria. The stature and authority of David. Kings that were truly blessed by God, not blessed when they were 70, blessed at a very early age. People that God has established their throne, established their kingdom, and vowed that the kingdom remains with them. Those ones enter the presence of God and they tell God, I don't want to go. I would rather be here. Let me be here. Where can I go from your presence? Where can I hide from your face? If I go to the depths of the sea, you are there. If I ascend the mountains, you are there. Their worship is out of a revelation. They serve God from the standpoint of that revelation. How can I do this and offend God? That was what Joseph said. It's not how can I do this and run away. He can escape if he's about doing it. But what about God? If a guy is looking, what will he see? How many things have you done not minding if God was watching or not? It's because there is no revelation of God. A revelation of God. A concrete understanding of the omnipresence. That God is not just in heaven. He's here. He's here. Not at night, not in the afternoon, every time. And he's not going to be here for 1 week. He's here forever. When the earth is done, he will still be here. Do you know him like that? Do you know what we call the omniscience of God? A God that knows all, that knows 35 things, that can see you now that you are trusting him for help. But as he's looking at you, he's seeing your grandchildren, he's seeing your great-grandchildren. Fear God. I had a problem many years ago, and I went on a retreat to pray, to trust God to help me. Please help me. And my prayer was because I'm doing my second year of not being a student and I've not gone for service. They are looking for what I don't know. I said, what is this? Help me. My mates are back for MSc. They are making progress. I seem to be stunted and I'm praying. Is there nothing you can do for me? In that same condition, he opened my eyes to see my wedding. That's the God I'm talking about. Because we are talking about graduating, he tells me, this is where the traditional marriage we hold. This is where the white wedding we hold. Think about that God. Something that was going to happen years later. You think he looks at you and he's worried, he's thinking. I've seen people that come and say, I'm not serving again, I'm not doing again, I've done too much. My brother, pack your service and go anywhere you like. This God cannot be stranded. Do you know him? It affects your prayers. It affects your worship. So that you don't say, we're just serving God. We are not just serving God. All of us are not the same. What we have seen is not the same. When we bow down, it's not the same. When we cast our crowns, it's not the same. When we bow our hearts, it's not the same. When we cry in the worship, it's not the same. We all know what is pushing us. We have seen his excellency. We have seen his majesty. His majesty. His majesty. His majesty. His majesty, beautiful in glory, dwelling in light that nothing can approach. Have you seen him? You don't come there and say, but I gave you 5,000 last week, I gave you 25,000 last month. That's nonsense. You're talking about Naira. We're talking about God, who at sundry times and in diverse manners, think about him, spoke to our fathers by the prophets, who in these last days has spoken to us by his son, who being the express image of his person. This is the God we are talking about, not a story somebody told. If you see his shape and see his form, worship is not optional. You will be conditioned to. Yes, conditioned to. Think about the fact that all the people, angels, made appearance before. They had to bow before angels. Then think about the man that angels bow consistently before him. They don't bow today and not bow tomorrow and say, we have been bowing since. No, they don't even know they are bowing. An angel walks into this place in his majesty, in his glory, in his beauty. Believe me, a lot of things can happen at a second. Think about God. He sits in heaven and he doesn't lift an arm. He speaks. He just speaks. Sometimes he doesn't have to talk. He laughs. He laughs. The kings of the earth gathered against the Lord. They don't know him. And he's anointed. He says, but he that sits in the heaven, he shall laugh. He just laughs. It's like where children gather and say, we'll beat you. And they are discussing it. And this is nothing in comparison to the being we are talking about. He said be, and everything came to be. If he says no, everything will diminish. Your bone will respect it. Your eyes will respect it. Demons respect it. So if we lift our hands before him, it's a privilege. It's a privilege. You are looking forward to that opportunity. Can he allow me to do it again tomorrow? Can he allow me to do it again next Sunday? Can he allow me to come again? This is why the presence of God is our treasure. That anytime there is an opening to find as much but one leg of access, you are grateful. You are grateful because this is where I breathe. This is where I find life. You don't come there to argue. Argue with who? You think people gather there to argue? No. have financial problems until God take you to heaven and show you the streets, where the streets are paved with gold. The concrete was gold. Was gold. I had an encounter many years back. An angel carried me. That angel, this encounter lasted for about a year. It happens, breaks. That angel was carrying me, and he told me we are going to a city. And the city was far. I could see bright lights coming from a distance. Something I can't explain, I can't imagine. But every step he makes is like we're getting closer. And he doesn't have to make much steps. One giant step. And he got to a place. I touched something that looks like a wings in the angel. And he turns to me. I came out of the vision. You think I'll stay there to look? No. I came back. That was where the vision ended. The next time the vision continued, like 4 or 5 months later, he went back to that position when he turned to look at me. And one of those days he brought me down. He said, walk yourself. You talk too much. And on that journey, the day he wanted to help me, he slapped my back and wings, he came out. That was how I knew that the Bible meant it when he said we shall mount up. It's not something they wrote in the Bible, it's a spiritual reality. With wings as eagles. I knew it's happened. It's an experience. So I can write that now, not because somebody told me, but because I've seen it. I've seen him. Worship makes sense when you see him. You don't know what Isaiah meant when he says, for my eyes have seen the King. He's the Lamb upon the throne who reigns forever. If you stand before him, everything diminishes in truth. And listen, if you can still remember anything, it's not before him you are standing. Yes. It's not before him. Because when he occupies his place, you are going to think that God will be fighting. Why will God be fighting? The God we are talking about did not fight. The Bible says, let God arise and let his enemies be scattered. He didn't say let God fight. Let God. He doesn't have to move an arm if he arises. Because if he as much as stands when he arises, angels are going together and say, what should we do? What do we do? You don't have to work a place. Let God arise. Isaiah know him. Just let his enemies. You are going to think he will come and use sword and be fighting. He's not arise and fight my battle. Even in heaven, he didn't fight. It was Michael and his angels that fought. God has never fought before. Never. Who will he fight? The devil? It won't be fair. It won't be just. There is no justice in that battle. You don't pick Brother Ebri and tell him to face Mike Tyson. No, there's no justice. How will they fight? How is that going to be a fight? Honestly, sometimes you need to calm down and say, God, show me your face. The day he does it, you see, everything about your life changes. You might not be able to explain everything, but something changes. Something changes. You will truly know that in this life, not everything is given to interpretation. There are things that will only find interpretation when we stand before him. You don't know what it is, but it says, just as you do not know how a baby is formed in her, that is with a child. Think about it. Think about the fact that spermatozoa meets an ova and then something forms. Blood becomes brain, blood becomes bone, blood becomes eye, blood becomes bone, blood becomes flesh. One day that flesh came out and is moving. Think about it. Even science is wondering, how is this possible? Don't think they know it. No. If they know it, they would have replicated it. Yes. so that I above the worship of the people of the earth. I see the Lord. I see the Lord. For my eyes have seen the King. Is the Lamb upon the throne who reigns forever. See, that day you will not be too big. Yes, nothing will make any better sense. Are you with me? Some people will lie down and not know they are lying down. They will just lie. An angel appeared to John and he said, I fell on his feet as dead. According to John, in his mind, he has died. I fell on his feet, not God, an angel. He says, I fell at his feet as dead. And he said to me, stand up. This is an angel. He says, I'm one of your brothers. We are brethren. The Oga, bata of them all, is who we are talking about. He did not begin, he will not end. He said to John, come up and I will show you. It was the beginning of an adventure. Don't think that vision happened for years. It's the interpretation that is happening. Come up and I will show you. Immediately John said, and I stood before the throne. Every other thing he was writing in the book of Revelation was what he saw once. He kept writing. Revelations 1, he was writing. He saw that vision once. It might not have lasted for 2 days. This once, he just saw it. One vision, one appearance. Brother John has been writing. He has been writing. This is what he said to the angel of the church in Laodicea. Right. This is what he said to the angel of the church in this city. Right. And we, for generations, are still interpreting what John wrote. If that kind of God says, I've blessed you, I've blessed you. His words are law. They are not suggestive. My father in the Lord says, if God looks at you and says, hey, big head, your head starts growing big, even if it was small. It starts expanding, the same head. If he says, small head, it doesn't matter the size of the mountain. You are bigger than what people say. You are bigger than what people say. 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 I will enter